Okay, hi there. This is Alyssa Prettyman, and this is another one of the Getting Started videos that I am recording as all yoga teachers try to go online right now to support people. And this post is about props, because a lot of times when people talk about their barriers to starting a home practice, they'll say, hey, I'd love to start a home practice, but I don't have what I need. And I'm here to tell you, you probably do, and you may not need exactly what you think you need. When it comes to props, we have to answer the question, what is the job that the prop is designed to do? And then once I understand the job that the prop is trying to do, I can easily kind of walk around my house and look for alternates. So I took 10 minutes earlier today. I thought about the jobs that the props were trying to do, and I pulled together some tools that everybody has and maybe some extra tools you have because you're preparing for the corona apocalypse right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to review 5 to 6 of the top tools that I tend to use in my yoga classes, and the jobs they're designed to do, and what kind of alternate things that we can establish. The very first one is your yoga mat. Now, yoga mats can be very helpful. I find them most useful when you have a practice where you're on your hands a lot and where your hands may slip a lot, specifically for the posture of downward facing dog, okay? Because when I come into downward facing dog, if I'm on a carpet or something, and I push back too hard, I can slide across the carpet. So some ways that we can solve for that problem is, one, don't push so hard. You can still get a great downward facing dog. Try it at like 75% if you typically go at 90. Another thing you can do is just press one of your limbs, one or two of your limbs, up against a wall. So you could try downward facing dog with your heels against the wall. So the heels don't slip, and so the heels feel relatively stable. If you want to push with your hands more and feel more of that upper body thrust, you could do dolphin and put your hands on the wall. So I'm going to come into dolphin, turn my hands out a little bit, tuck the toes, and then I can push to my heart's desire and get a lot of upper body stuff going on there as well. You could also just take downward facing dog against the wall, right? So turn to face the wall. The shape is very similar, it's just turned on a slightly different angle. But a lot of the other poses that you think about, like warrior two, triangle, side angle, twist, all of these, they're fine on the carpet. And if you don't have a carpet anywhere in your house, maybe put down a towel, and again, just move slowly and don't push quite as hard. So grip, solution 1, don't push so hard. Solution 2, find an opposing surface. If it's not grip that you like, but it's support and softness for your wrists, for your knees, get a towel, get a blanket, go on a carpet. So yoga mat, not totally necessary for a home practice. Prop number 2 would be the blocks. Again, what is the job that the blocks are trying to do? Bring the floor closer to your hand, I would say in most instances, and in some instances provide a little bit of lift and support. So, let's see. I don't have blocks at home, but I have dishwasher pods, and this feels relatively sturdy, so that if I wanted to do a lunging twist and get a little bit of height, I could totally do that. If I wanted to do a supported bridge, I just throw a towel over this and it could lift my hips, and it smells lovely. I can smell it coming out of there right now. If I wanted 2 things, and I'm a good little doomsday prepper, I have giant cans of tomato sauce. These aren't even the biggest ones. I think they come a little bit bigger than that, but I got 2. So if I want support in my runner's lunge and both hands want to be at the same height, I can use this. You can also use books. You have 2 Harry Potter books, boom, you got a block. You have 4, you got 2 good level blocks under each hand. So don't let the lack of props stop you from your practice, right? Found a nice little trash can, it's relatively stable, great for Warrior 3 prep, great for Half Moon. It's a little bit high, but I kind of like it. So get creative with the stuff that you have around your house. Okay, blocks, blanket, just get a towel. Any beach towel that's relatively thin and not too floofy is gonna perform very similar to a blanket. So a lot of times in yin or restorative, we'll roll up, put a blanket roll under the outside of the legs in a Baddha Konasana pose like that. Towel works fine for that. If you're gonna do some of the yin poses, we'll fold up the blankets a couple times and create a little bit more of a flat noodle and recline on that. You can do that with a towel as well. So just find a towel and you'll have the ability to do everything that you do with one of the more traditional Mexican blankets. Moving on. Strap. Strap, much like a blanket, is pretty easy to replace. I can take my towel, I can lie down. What's the job that the strap is designed to do? It's designed to help me reach when my arms or my mobility doesn't get to the place that I want it to go. So now I can wrap around the foot, I can go to the side, I can go across the body, everything is groovy. I can sit up if I want to go for an arm bind. Yep, I can totally connect back there and pull and push and put tension on it or have it be softer. So towel's great. It's a little bit thick, so if you have an old towel, you could cut it into strips, and then those strips might feel in your hand a little bit more like a strap. A strap is also called a belt, so you could use a belt, particularly if it's a woven belt or a fabric belt. You could use a dog leash. Here's Luna's leash. Yep, I can totally get that connection back there, and it performs just like a strap. The only caveat is if you use the dog leash in your home practice, you're going to have to take your dog for a walk immediately afterwards, because they're going to get really excited that you're playing with their thing and they're going to think it's walk time. So be forewarned. Okay, bolster. Bolster can be one of the more challenging things to supplement, depending on the type of bolster that you practice with and what you want to do with it. Again, what is the job that I'm trying to do? So I really like the bolster to be kind of big for a supported child's pose or a side bend or a reclining heart opener. Those would probably be the top 3 things that I do with it in my own home practice. And you want firm supportive height and you want a little bit of length. So how could I replicate that? I'm going to go back to my friend the towel. I don't know if you remember from several of our earlier discussions that this is 2 towels kind of on top of each other, folded in half and rolled up. I'll kind of reverse it out. So this is where we started. 1, 2 towels, right? I folded my 2 towels in half and then rolled it up into a little burrito. Not quite as thick as my bolster. I could try it with 3 towels. I could try it with 4 towels. Depends how many towels you have that are the same size. Sometimes couch blankets, particularly the thinner type, can work well too. I could do 2 of these and stack them end to end so it was longer. So that's one way towels can work as a supplemental bolster. I have this old quilt here too, which is relatively firm, and if I fold it in half and roll it up a little bit, and I want to do the same kind of reclining back bend, I can get a really similar vibe. It's not perfectly the same. It's not quite as firm or as long, but it's still nice and relaxing, and it still provides the support and the tone of what I'm looking for. So that would be my recommendations for bolster supplements. You can also look at your couch pillows. Some people actually have couch pillows that perform a little bit like bolsters. Like these are a little bit flat, but some people have the rounder couch pillows and they tend to be firmer. So you might be able to use a couple couch pillows as well. Okay, so we've talked about blocks, blankets, mats, straps, and bolsters. The last thing that I'll talk about is balls. Yes. So I tend to use a ton of tune-up balls in my personal teaching. I like this big squishy one. I like the little ones. I like this one that looks like a GMO full blueberry. But again, I come back to what is the job that these tools are trying to do. With the squishy one, I want kind of comforting. I want to be able to go around the rib cage and the torso. I want to be able to go around the collarbones, the upper back, the lower back. Anything within the four corners of the torso is going to love this ball at just about any angle. So I could roll up a towel and create just a little cylindrical burrito and sit with that. If you do go to the grocery store or go to Target on one of your sparse trips out of the house, as we are self-quarantining, there are usually those cages of bouncy balls that are about this size that could be a really nice similar supplement. And if you have kids, check around in your kids' room, see if there's something that would feel similar, that has some give to it. A Pilates ball would work great too. You can see if any of this stuff is available online from any of the specific kind of yoga and fitness retailers. Well, wouldn't go to Amazon right now. This is March 18th, 2020, but if you're watching this later on, Amazon may be up and running and you could have it in a couple days. Squishy ball. The alpha ball can be harder to replicate. I think, you know, if you can get a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, one of those big rubber balls, they even sell oversized tennis balls that your dog can, that dogs like. Find a relatively firm ball or a series of balls that you can roll on, and those should work fine. I would use my dog's ball, but it's super gross and covered in spit right now. Other things that you can use, depending on where you're rolling and what the goal is, right? What is the task that the tool is going to perform? I say it again, is, you know, stuff you find around the house. So I found some Chipotle chili powder, and I could roll it under my foot if I had just washed my foot and I intended on washing it afterwards, or maybe I have an old cylindrical spice container. But I can go up and down, lean side to side. I can peel back my toes a little bit, yeah. So I can get a similar vibe off of that. I found like a half a tablespoon. That's like an old kind of measuring thing, but I could probably do a little bit of stepping on that too. So if my goal is just to kind of push and release into different areas of the body, finding any sort of like little round surface that you can stand on or kind of press into, move into, could feel great. If you're a great doomsday prepper, you have organic garbanzo beans, yes. Those could roll the calf, right? If the job was rolling the calf, this works great. That was awesome. Go up and down, no problem. If I wanted to go behind the neck, something like this, probably a little bit too firm on its own, but I could certainly roll up my handy dandy, you got it, towel, so that the thing that's underneath me has the firmness and structure of a cylinder, but the squishiness of the towel. So I've got my garbanzo beans underneath my towel. And it just feels so great. A little bit of reinforcement of the cervical curve of the neck, and I could just lay here forever and ever and ever. And I might. So those are, oh yeah, and I also said if you're stocking up on toilet paper, hoarding toilet paper, particularly like the really cheap thin stuff, you can put that behind the neck as well, on the side of the head. Because nobody ever squawks too much about slightly flattened toilet paper so long as it works, right? So those are your replacements for yoga props. If you have a particular pose or movement that you're trying to get and you can't get in your current practice, leave a message in the comments and I'll try to get back to you, or we'll make a new video about it. In terms of rolling, you can also just go all like grizzly bear in your house and start rubbing up against like the corner of the door frame or the edge of the couch or the edge of the kitchen counter. There's a lot of things that can actually provide a massage-like feel if you just get creative and look around. So those are my supplements for yoga props. Thank you for listening. Be well and keep practicing yoga.